to episode number 36, Love It or Shove It. And today we are going to be talking about the science of attraction. And this is something like, remembering going back when we first fell in love, right? Our first love, to how we were progressing with that, like what actually was changing for us, our attraction factors, and what was important for us. So today we are here to share our personal experience, our personal stories, and give some tips and tools. So Tobi is our guest today, and I'm sure a lot of people already know who you are, but please just introduce yourself. Oh, and I forgot to tell about my co-host. Bruno is in the house, and Tobi. Okay,
Jesus Christ.
Share about who you are and what do you do in this beautiful world.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Tobi Staples, and I am an author, speaker, and empowerment coach on a mission to impact 1 million lives, shifting them from their internal programming to their innate power, which I will accomplish this year. So that's me. And I'm really happy to be here with you guys.
All right. So Tobi, when it comes for you, the science of attraction, what are the criteria that's the most important for you when you find the person attractive? Obviously, we are talking about, in a man, because you're a woman. If you're in man, right?
Yes.
I have to make that comment because to each its own, right? We have to make sure we clarify. We are talking about our personal experiences, but whatever rocks anybody's boat, we are totally an exception.
Well, don't let the haircut kid you, because I love men. Mind you, I have encountered experiences with women, so I won't lie about that either. But as far as I'm concerned, at every phase of my life, there was something different that attracted me, depending on who I was as a being and what I was looking for. But now, I gotta feel it more than I see it. Literally. I gotta feel that heart skip a beat, or I can't even bother looking a second time.
I love it. Totally. So good. So good. And so share a little bit, like initially, when you were young and, felt those butterflies, like what exactly was something for you that would attract in a guy?
Oh, well, with the men that I was raised around, that's what gave me the initial insight of what a man looked like, right? Well, to me, that was hardworking, very custo, thick, strong men. Well, to this day, I love all of that. They gotta be a man, walk firmly, stand proudly, be able to protect me. If not, I can't be more man than a man.
Totally, right? Like, why would you need him then?
Exactly. And that's why I'm still single. I'm still waiting for that man.
Oh, no.
Still searching for that, brave one.
Yeah. Like, in all these fairy tales, there's that big, handsome buck of a guy that just comes in and saves the princess. Well, damn. I better not hold my breath or they'll catch me dead when they arrive. Like, hurry up,
So, okay, I've heard from you, Tobi, strong and hardworking. How about the physical attraction? Like, are the physical traits mean something to you?
Sometimes. Sometimes, because every man brings something so unique that every one of them has something great to offer if you see it in them. So, I'm very open to explore any strong, healthy man to see what he has to offer. Really, but he has to be sure of himself and confident. And he can't be scared because if I sniff fear, you're gone. Like,
Yeah.
Right?
yeah,
Mhm.
big time.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So, Bruno, you share. What does
I mean,
attraction for you?
yeah. So like, I think we can argue. I think we can argue. I talk for myself and for everybody who relates to this. But I think everybody in their life has thought they once they were gay, right? I've been there. You know, like- and I've been there.
I love it. I
And I
love
have
it.
been there. I'm telling, like, I swear, like, no joke, like I've been there, but I'm not, and I'm actually heterosexual, but I think because that's all a part of the self-discovery, right? And I think it's all about like it's just like if you're dealing with like societies that are not very open and keen to that idea. It's not like the majority of people, have thought about that. Is that they don't think about that. If they don't think about that, they can never relate to that. So they never explore that idea. So they never felt that way, right? But in like more open societies, like in Europe or even America, where like that doesn't really matter, right? Wherever you are, wherever you're not, right? You just are whatever you want to be. Transsexual, you want to be pansexual, you want to be whatever. Like you want to be gay, you want to be heterosexual. Right? Like you want to be bi, you want to be all of them, you do whatever, right? Like, but yeah. Anyways, continuing. I think for me, it's like what matters in the physical, right? Like, I was born in an environment of good women, right? For example, with Tobi said like, she grew around men like very strong, very manly, right? Not because of their beard or whatever, but like, thick and stuff, hard workers, wake up early, go to bed late, they do the same thing ever again, very masculine, maybe probably even like with a country accent, like with some like damn mustache, like big as fuck, like all that, right? Yeah, exactly. With me, I grew around like very good women, like good women, but in terms of vulnerability, very feminine. But in terms of like tough times, right? In tough times, very masculine as well. So they could play both parts, right? So it's like, it's like I like both. I like feminine and I like masculine, but I think for me, I like a woman who can play both, right? Because like I don't want to be with a slave who does nothing and I do everything for them, but I also don't want to be with somebody who is going to not about making more money than me, not about working harder than me, but having like being so under masculine, they completely forget that like like they completely forget that like they're dealing with a man as well, right? It's like and for me, like a woman who is much more masculine than feminine, you're just like a sister to me. For me, you're like my brother, and I don't want to treat you like my brother because I couldn't have sex with a brother or a sister, right? So like it's like there has to be roles in the relationship, and if you cross them, I'm immediately friend zoning you so hard, right? And yeah, right. So it's just but that's it, right? It has nothing to do with money, or like it has nothing to do a woman making more money than me. It has nothing to do with that. In fact, because due to me raising up with be raised by women who can also be very masculine, in tough times, where they really need to turn up. It's like I was raised by a single mom, so she was the only like breadwinner in my household, right? So for me, it's like, in fact, like watching my girlfriend, if I have a girlfriend and she makes more money than me and stuff, I'm like, yo, you go, man, like I'm proud of you. Because like it's like I'm watching my mom, right? Not like my mom actually, right? But because I had that experience of my mom, it's like I'm watching, right, another woman besides my mom that I have the pleasure to live with and be in love with, right? Go and do it all by herself, right? She's not using me for my money because she makes her own, so she doesn't really fucking. In fact, she could fucking divorce me and still have her money, right? Which is very good. And for me, it's just right, the pleasure. That's it, right? So that's what I'm kind of attracted to. Now that's like psychological, emotional, blah blah blah, right? But physical, right? It's more like physical. It's more, like pretty eyes, right? Pretty eyes, and yeah, pretty eyes. Like a nice smile, and it doesn't even have to do with like how fat or not you are, or how tall or not you are, or how whatever. Because I've had I've had sex without even being in a relationship, right? With women who were fat, right? And I've been with women who are skinny, and I've been with women who are shorter than me, and a little bit taller, just a little bit. I don't give a shit. Pussy is pussy, and I'm all for it. I don't give a fuck, right? But that's what it is, right? I don't give a shit, right? But right. But that's the thing, right? This is like, it's like pretty eyes and pretty smile, right? And like, I think more than that, and that's not so much, but a good approach, right? Like a good approach. That's like, a woman who knows how to approach a person, man or women, right? And knows her place. I think it's very important. Because you see, like nowadays, a lot of women, like they try to overcompensate the idea of what like men and society wants for them, and like, you're full of shit. Who do I get out of my fucking face? Because I mean no disrespect, but look, like, like I'm not. That doesn't attract me, right? To put it in terms that where we actually meet the requirements of the actual episode, that does not attract me, right? Because in the long run, that woman will want me to require for her much more than what is needed, right? Because of that overcompensation. And if she like overcompensates that idea of other people, she'll do the same thing with me, right? So yeah, fuck no, absolutely not. Right? So, that's me.
So yeah, thanks so much for sharing. So in my case, and I think everybody can agree, when we just initially meet the person, it's more like, the first impression or that magnetic chemistry that we get attracted, right? Because before the person starts talking, right, it's with the conversation we figure out, like if that person is like really, somebody worthy of our time to listen to, right? Because sometimes the person could be very good looking, but once they open their mouth, you just want to run for the hills. I don't want to have anything in common. Yes. So obviously I would say for me, yes, physical attraction, I look at it, on the initial stage, but then I like go in the deeper levels, right? And interestingly enough, the older I become, the longer my list is of the criteria that matters. Right? And
yeah.
And I remember I was always on that side. Okay, yes, attractive, but at the same time, like the most sexiest organ in a man is brain. And that's exactly what I valued the most. And I remember I had this financial advisor. I just came to United States a couple of years ago, and he was like giving the lecture about different financial plans. And I was listening to him. He wasn't that my type whatsoever. Like, he wasn't bad looking, but he wasn't something that I would be like really impressed. But when he was talking, I completely was impressed. And there was that instant attraction. Like, I was already making up things in my mind. Like, if he asked me for a date, I would definitely say yes, right? So it's all like all these things. And like I said, for me, brain is very important in a man. And obviously emotional maturity, right? Because you cannot deal with the boys who just, don't know what they want and have the short fuse and can't really handle themselves well. It's like, I want my peace. I want to have my quiet time, right? So like all these things really matter. And and more to that list, right? It has to be same interests, growing together, personally, professionally, spiritually, right? Intellectually, and obviously respect, when the man really respect a woman for who she is and supporting her on her journey with everything what she does. So these are the major attractive factors for me.
Big time. That was a great share. And I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you because honestly, throughout my life, I have to, you know what? I'll drop it because that's how I do. It's honesty. So I'll let the world have it. Listen, I went through life insisting on not having relationships after my 2 kids because I could not find what I wanted. But the problem was I had to become what I wanted in somebody else first. So that's the biggest change for me right now is I know who I am and I know what fills my heart. So therefore, then being at this frequency, I can now pull in the same magnitude of what I am. And that's why it wasn't meant to happen before. And that's why it was always so traumatic to get into relationships and stuff. It's because I had not self-mastered. I was running from a belief system about relationships that was installed from watching the relationship that was in the household. You see, between my parents. So everything about relationships was governed on that until I corrected it. So yeah, they were not meaningful relationships. I'll also be honest in saying my prime relationship was to make sure that he had somebody at home waiting for him, literally, so that I could send him out of my life after, literally. And I'm forever grateful that I'm not that person anymore. But that was my big standard. If you weren't already hitched, I don't want nothing to do with you, because then there's that possibility that you may get stuck with me. And I don't want that either. You see? So I'm really glad that I did the inner work and the changes and the self-mastery, because I was ruining my chance at any relationship before it even started with that mindset. And ruining a lot of others too.
I love it, Tobi. And this is such a great point, because a lot of times when people are searching for that special someone, right? And especially when I'm talking about in the field of manifestation, right? When we write out the qualities of the person we want to attract. And I always tell to the people, don't limit yourself, because you can actually attract the partner up to, you know, the height, the eyes color, you know, like the appearance, the profession, and etc., 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 right? But the point is, you have to also match the qualities that you want to have in another person. Because it's not just, you know, like I want to have everything in my partner, let alone I require a lot of work myself, right? Because we do not attract what we want, we attract who we are. And that's exactly to the point that now you have mastered yourself. Now you are clearer than ever what kind of person you want to attract. And now it's all about the timing.
Yeah, which I leave it up to divine universal timing.
Totally. Just enjoy yourself, keep loving yourself, you know.
Because the more I love myself, when the relationship manifests, well, the more there will be love in it. So I'm okay.
Totally. Totally. Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like, for example, I'm in a completely different, obviously we're all talking together, we're all friends, you know, we're all very close to each other. I believe so. And, you know, but we're still in very different phases of my life. I mean, you're 50 and I'm 22, right? It's like, you already got past that, you know, marriage way, right? In theory.
Hold on,
right?
you talking
you already
to me?
got past.
You talking to me? About the marriage?
I'm talking to the both of you.
Okay. But Irina, are you 50? Really? Oh my goodness.
And he has to bring it up on the show. Like, I would
Sorry,
never,
because
I'm
you
gonna
guys
kill
just
you.
blew my mind, Bruno.
You
so I
look
had to jump
25
in there.
though. It's cool.
I'm gonna
Okay,
kill him
you know-
after the show.
You look 25.
You both look 25.
But Bruno, don't discount me out of marriage because I'm looking for long term and I am marriage material. So I don't know
All right.
about anybody
Cool.
else.
No problem.
And Irina,
I'll
she's
rephrase
already
it.
been hot picked and stamped to own because of her diamond ways. So now it's my turn to have the same. That's all. But no, I'm not opting out of nothing that the universe has to
Yeah, that's
offer
all right.
me, whether it's marriage
Okay,
or
cool,
anything. Go ahead.
Cool. Nice. All right, but like, I meant more in
What
theory
about your
than
personal
in reality.
experience? Because we are sharing like our personal stories and personal experience. So talk
Yeah, I
from
know,
your
but
experience.
I need to get there first. You're interrupting me, goddamn. Anyways, like, so I lost my train of thought. Anyways, so as I was saying, I'm in a different, I'm never, I never like really kind of, I never really kind of like obviously, in theory, like people in their 50s and stuff, right? They already got past the marriage age because they already got married, or no, they think it's too late, or whatever. In theory, right? But I'm 22, right? So I do want to get married, right? And I do want to get married, and so it's like Irina was saying, the older you grow, the more your list also like kind of like like grows when it comes like to things that like the person wants, right? But I think that can go for any age, right? Because like if the better your list can be assured and effective when you're young, the less you have to change it, because you won't. Because like what you wanted was what you wanted, you waited, and then you finally got what you wanted, and then you're never going to leave it again, right? Because that's what you wanted, right? And you never change what you wanted, right? You didn't settle for less, you didn't settle for no like temporary person, you didn't settle for no like short-term thing, because now you cannot you cannot deal with your urges and stuff, right? And it's just once, what's the problem? That's a whole bunch of bullshit, right? And obviously, like that's what I believe, Tobi. That's what I believe. And like, for example, in my personal stories, my personal history, right? It's not so much of what happened to me. It's much more of what I've seen happening. And then I didn't do it to myself because I've seen that happen with other people. I'm like, fuck this, no, I'm not doing this with myself. Because I know the same thing is going to happen, right? And I think like in this situation, it's very important to turn down your ego, because an egotistical, arrogant person will be like, oh, yeah, but that's them, not me. And that's bullshit, because, like, I mean, if you put yourself in the same situation and you do exactly the same damn thing that they did, damn right the same thing is going to happen to you, but without a shadow of a doubt, because you're doing the same damn thing, right? So I mean, I'm in my own and whatever, right? But I could have been in lots of stuff, right? Like you, Tobi, as well, right? You prevented yourself from a lot of stuff in a different situation than mine, but the same way that nothing attracted you, nothing attracted me too, right? And I look around, and it's like it's very hard nowadays to find a person who of my age, right? Who wants something with me. Oh, not something with. It's not about who wants something with me. It's hard to find somebody of my age who wants something serious. A woman, right? Because like they don't know themselves. Like they need help finding themselves, right? And I'm like miles away from them in the most respectful ways. I just am, and I'll say it proudly, and I don't give a shit. And that's just the way it is, right? And it's like, for me being like, it's like, especially because like, for example, the life of a man is very different from a life of a woman, right? Again, like I said, in a relationship, I really do not mind, like a woman right? Kind of like making more money than me, but I'm still a man and I have to make my money. Look, like dates cost money, flowers cost money, chocolates cost money, Valentine's Days cost money, freaking, like going to the cinema costs money. It just fucking does, right? So it's like, if a man, right, and I talk for men in my way, right, if they're not ready, like there's no point in worrying about attraction, there's no point in worrying about seduction, there's no point in worrying about goddamn thing if you don't have your life in order first, right? You need to get your life in order first, right? So like, yeah, I mean, it's like, for me right now, either some miracle happens and something like truly like kind of amazing like happens, and like, I mean, I'm someone like in the same page as me, and I'm someone, like I'm with someone like that's in the same page as me, and I'm with someone who, like doesn't mind and whatever, wants to grow with me, wants this, and those women are extremely rare, by the way, because like very extremely rare. They're rarer. They're becoming more rare by the generations, right? Either that or I'm just single, and I've been single for so damn long that I don't give a shit. It's like, like, I mean, my right hand does a perfect job, right? It's been well trained. If we were in the army, it'd be a Navy SEAL, right? And that's what it is, right? And that's what it is. So
I love it.
I don't give a credit, So it's just like, yeah, that's kind of me, right? It's like, so my personal stories are not so much about what I've done, it's much more of like what I've seen other people do. Like the majority of the mistakes I could have done, I didn't, because I paid attention, right? People don't pay fucking attention, right?
Well, I didn't when I manifested the last one, I tell you. I should have been a lot clearer on what I asked for. I tell you, I missed out some real major steps. What did I get kicked in the ass for it? Manifestation of your partner is real, and you got to be careful what you ask for.
And Irina can totally Irina can explain that in amazing ways.
Yes, she can.
Our manifestation coach.
I'll just mention it because we're talking about personal experiences too, but I posted a video today even about my spiritual awakening and what happened afterwards. Well, being open to love and awakened to really what love was, I figured, okay, it doesn't matter what I've done in my life up until now, I need to be open to love. Well, I opened myself up to love, and I ended up with a heart attack. I ended up with flesh-eating disease that paralyzed my face because I had embodied love, but all I asked for from the universe was somebody of equal magnitude to me without any kind of prereqs. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And boy, was I handed somebody of equal magnitude to me, but of the opposite magnitude to me. And I had to choose at that point if I was going to choose self-love or self-destruction. Mm-hmm. Literally. And I chose self-love, and that's how I was able to come out of it. But you really got to be careful what it is you're attracting with the intent, because it happens. And I forgot to, because it had filled all of my requests basically, except for a loving, generous man. I never asked for that in it.
This is not number one for me.
Yeah, well, I've altered what my requests are, and apparently Source is supplying it on demand. So guess what? It'll be soon enough. Everybody will see me in love again.
Totally. You know what comes for me? Like, sense of humor is very important.
Oh, me too.
If a man doesn't have a sense of humor, I don't care how good looking he is.
Well, you know what? I say it all the time. If you can't stimulate my brain, you definitely can't stimulate my
body.
Ever. Ever. That's just the way it is. You got to get the sparks going up here before any start happening down there. And that's why most don't have a chance. They have to come good because they can't even stimulate their own brains, never mind mine.
Tobi, Tobi, you might scare some potential guys because
Good. Let the weak ones
exactly
get scared and run the other way.
Let the strongest just be
Because
there.
we don't want none of that over here.
Battle.
We don't want none of that over here.
Why do women love humor so much? Can you explain that to the audience? I mean, women in the audience will know that, but men won't.
You know
So
why? Because life is serious enough, and there's so much pressure.
Exactly.
We don't want to have pressure with our man too. The man is exactly where the pressure is supposed to be relieved, and vice versa. There should be no pressure. You're a partnership, so therefore you dissolve any pressure coming your way. Literally.
I'm
Like-
gonna answer. I'm the person that love the sense of humor because I always, joke a lot of times, and it's like in any situation, like any effed up situation, I always love to laugh at myself, right? Because it just, like raises the vibration. And I was raised in the family. Like my dad is like stand-up comedian. Till now, it's like, when we get together, it's like I'm just choking from laughing. Like the stuff that he comes up with is like unbelievable. My brother is the same way. So between these two, when we get together, it's like, a comedy show. So for me, as I was raised in that household, for me, it's very important. My husband is also pretty good, like with the sense of humor. So for me, it's, like one of the top qualities in a man.
Yeah, it is, because when the pressure is high, you need a positive way to release that. And you can't always go and get in the bathroom when you need it. So you need a little chuckle and a laugh. It works the same way as sex does. Releasing dopamine, right? And releasing.
Yeah.
So it has the same effect.
Yeah. So.
And I just got to
Awesome.
mention it because it's on my brain. That's why a lot of women love to be having control in their world, but zero control in the bedroom. Okay? Why? Because of the pressure of everyday life. And women have been made to have to be in control of so much that when they hit that bedroom, they don't want to have to be in control there too. How do I know? I'm living proof of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it. No, a man needs to be a man enough that there is some submittance to my man, or there's no point. Like big time. I gotta just say it.
It's like
Totally.
because because that's the thing. It's just like, because I love I love that you talked about that, because me as a man especially, I think I'm gonna say something like to men in here, which is like, the more masculine you are, the more feminine your woman will be with you. Either that, or she'll believe that she's your mother. Her mother instincts will come out, and like literally her vagina will go like,
Exactly.
time to go.
Exactly. We don't want to have to mother any man. And it is a turnoff to have to. Big time.
Yeah.
I know, I just lived it.
Mhm.
It's a turnoff. You want a man who's going to come prepared as a man, not as a mouse.
I wonder how,
And then you got to train him
I
to be a
wonder-
man. Unless he's coming in as Mighty Mouse. Here I come to save
And
the
you are
day.
the cat, Tobi. You are the cat chasing the mouse.
I wonder how women were happy. Like, I wonder how, like, were the rates of women's happiness in 1950.
There weren't much.
They were too busy handling their life that they didn't even, pay attention what happiness is. For them, happiness would be to take care of the family, to make sure everybody fed, to make sure that, the kids are healthy. And that was the meaning of life.
Yes.
Nobody
Everybody had
really
a
was
role.
concerned about happiness.
That's right. Everybody had a role, and they owned it, no matter what it cost them to do that. And that's the difference with society. Everybody has just forgotten the roles that men play and forgotten the roles that women play. Big time. And
Yeah.
then what happens? When we're out of role, we are attracting things that are out of role also. And there's a real problem there. That's why I encourage anybody, if you're trying to attract love or bring in anything, you better embody that frequency first, no matter what, because you will attract and pull exactly what you're believing and thinking that you are. Law of attraction doesn't work with masks. It runs with true frequency, you know? Big time.
You know, what comes to me is, you know, a lot of times people go through the same cycles, right, in the relationship. And what is the best way to break that pattern? First of all, is to recognize that you have a pattern, right? Yes. Because a lot of times, just, you know, like people end up with the similar partners and then they feel like they are victims of circumstances, not paying attention that actually they are the ones who created that, you know, circumstances. Because everything comes with, again, our thinking and our feeling and our actions, and that's exactly what creates our results in life. So in order to break that pattern, we have to first recognize it, address it, and then see what are our habits we have to change in order to stop attracting these people that, you know, just suck the blood out of us, right? Yeah. And, you know, drain us completely.
Yeah, but we allow it, eh? We allow
exactly.
it.
We are allowing it.
We know right away when somebody comes into our energy, whether it feels good or not, and we don't have to think about that. And we deny that to ourselves, believing that we have submitted or must be accountable to a mere choice, when there's no two people that will make you feel the same on the planet. So the way one man is going to make me feel is not going to be the way another man is going to make me feel, even in the exact same scenario. So a lot of people base their what's to come on what they've already done, not realizing they could have encountered a very different person within that same situation and it would have never produced that result. You see? So we got to be more open, because every unique person brings a unique situation and a scenario and a vibe. And we're either going to merge or we're going to repel. And that's the true energetic flow of it. So if you pull somebody towards you that is really not meant for you, what's going to happen? Eventually, you guys are going to part your ways. Whether you stay stuck and insistent in that bullshit game that you're going to play and mind fuck yourself, that's a different story. And how long you entertain that. And a lot of people get stuck in that and don't know a way out. So you got to be vigilant from the start. When that heart is telling you it is right, go for it. It's going to pull you in. If it tells you no, and it's going to back you up. Either or. So don't get into your head about anything. You've got to follow your heart. Doesn't matter who, whether it's even a simple interaction on the street or a love relationship.
Totally. I totally agree. And, you know, that's where the personal boundaries come to play. It's number one thing, you know, just cut off the people right from the start before you really get involved emotionally and physically and everything else. That's right. So if you see that the person is not good for you, just cut them off. Yeah. And initially it's going to be difficult, but the more you do it, practice makes it perfect.
Yeah, but also too, I in my situation after a heart attack, and that what I believed after my spiritual awakening is that love would conquer all, right? So I figured that loving him, no matter how I was being abused, would alter what he's doing to me. But no, that's where man's free will comes into play. And you have to allow people to have their free will and choice, no matter how you feel about it. And that's what I also had to do. So it ended to be very abusive in a set, like, come on, I know you don't get a heart attack from being with somebody 5 months if it's not abusive. Like, but it was because I wasn't staying true to what I was feeling. I was trying to override it, knowing the power of love. And you can't do that because everybody's got free will.
Totally. Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, for example, like the free will part, you know, it's like, look, I was in this, so I have a story. So I was in this situation with this girl, what, she was Spanish and whatever, we're still friends until this day. And you know, like things could have like gone much better, but the level of attraction I had for her was like literally went down to zero, because not only like, it was more than level of attraction. It was like, it was in the state that she was. And at the same time, I felt disrespected. And I felt like, you don't value my time. And it was like, it was disgusting anyways. So this girl, right, like she was drunk and everything, right? And I mean, yeah, sure, I could have been like, oh yeah, no fun, she was drunk and whatever, but like that's the thing, like in my standards, that is no. Right now, if somebody, because that's the thing, we weren't even boyfriend and girlfriend, right? We were just like seeing how things were gonna go, right? And right, when that happened, I was like, yes, that's the click. That's the thing where like, nope, sorry, I'm going to guide you home. I'm going to help you find your key. And I bet you have your fucking key in your jacket. And guess what? She did. But she still had to make a fucking scene about it. Right? Call her fucking neighbors. And call this. And call that. And then she went home. And then I never talked to her ever again. Because it was pathetic. Right? And
that's because you're self-aware and you were able to identify it. The majority of people walking on the planet cannot even feel that within themselves.
Yeah,
actually,
I just something. That's it. Like I felt it. It's like, no, this is not for me, boy. Like this is not for me, boy. Simple. Like I'm not gonna think. I'm gonna be like, I know, give it a chance. I know it was once. It's not once. It's gonna be as many times as it's gonna be until you say no, because you accepted it the first time. And people don't, it's like, we believe like, oh, it's gonna be first time because they know it's wrong. But even if they know it's wrong, because you accepted it and you tolerated it, they'll do it again because they expect you to do the same thing the second, the third, the 10th, the 100th time until you leave, right? And like for me, it's like I don't look for perfect, right? I'm far from perfect. Nobody's perfect. I look when it comes for me, the attraction, right? Attraction for me, obviously, as it is for all of us here, is more than physical, right? But like away from the physical, right? For me, it's more about somebody's presence, right? I don't mind having to deal with your anxiety. I don't mind having to deal with your stress. I don't mind having to sit down for hours and listen and whatever. I already do that with my friends. Sometimes, when they need to talk. I mean, Tobi, what the fuck? Like when we talk for hours, right?
Yeah, we do.
I already sit with you when I talk, right? And even with men, I can do that as well, right? I don't mind doing that shit, bro, right? But that I don't mind, because there's a reason for that, right? And it's probably a very valid reason. And even if I don't understand, it's something that's important for you, and I try to understand, right? But getting drunk, knowing that you're going to meet the guy, right? And you expect him to understand it, that's bullshit. For me, the level of attraction just ends. Wasted my time, you wasted your time, we wasted our time together. I feel disrespected because you're not valuing again my time, right? And it's like, waste your time, but don't waste my time, because that's your life. Don't bring me to your shit, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's just like, again, I don't expect somebody to be perfect. I just expect somebody to like to be respectful, right? For me, respect like boosts a 500% attraction level in somebody. That's it, right? Actually, respect, sure, but it's more than it's a person that pays attention, right? Like a person who pays attention and thinks before does that. Thinks before talking and thinks before acting. right? Yeah, kind of that. Yeah.
Well, my next prerequisite is very different, like any other I've ever had in my life, because the only prerequisite that I have for my future lifelong partner is that he has the capacity to love as deeply as I do. And that's it. Because from that point, he already has it all. Literally. So when it comes to, my next part, listen, that's all he's got to do is I don't care what he looks like and what package he comes in that I'm gifted with, as long as his heart is with the right intentions and is able to love himself first, because then it will give him the ability to love me. But I am not even batting an eye at a guy who is any less than who I have become because of the work I've done to do so. You know, I don't want to deal with anybody sitting there anxious, can't be right in their skin. Sorry, I'm done with that shit. I raised 2 kids properly, and they don't even react like that. So I'm not going to accept it from a man. That's where I'm at. I know who I am. And the man who steps to me better know who the fuck he is too. Because if not, I will soon wake him up to that too.
I love this. Totally.
Yeah.
So I don't care what he looks like. I don't care what build he is, because when I tell you I have been through all kinds of builds and shapes and sizes, hey, my exploration days were great. But what I've discovered today is even greater within me. So whatever's coming next must match me, or it can't even get a chance with me. Yeah.
I love it. And this is the truth, because people have to know exactly who they are and what they want.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't. A lot of people think, okay, physical attraction is, like number one thing, but there are so many things beyond that. And when that physical attraction is wearing off, and it will at some point, and if there is nothing else to hold people together, this is already comes, like the real truth that hits you like a brick, right? And for people, it's so important to understand what really matters for them and what exactly they are looking in that special person.
Yeah, and if you have to wonder if it's going to work out, it's already not. Literally.
Totally.
And if you have to wonder about anything, or if you are in doubt about anything, well, it's already dysfunctional. Because the law of our soul and the love of the universe is thriving, evolution, growth. That's the real love. So if there's any friction, it's not real love. It really isn't. Love is like water. It flows with ease. Well, anything that doesn't is not love. Simple. You got to love and accept each other down to the core, or don't even bother. Because you will find everything wrong with that person that you find wrong with yourself. Literally.
True.
You got to become your partner.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Joe Dispenza, I'll mention it because I listened to him for years and I do religiously. And the one thing that he told me, and I think I reposted that video today on my page also, you have to become the partner that you want in order to have that in somebody else. You cannot be requesting others to conform when you yourself cannot be doing it. It's a total contradiction and you'll never have it.
It's like, for example, like what is meant for you is meant for you.
Yeah.
Like this science of attraction is not just for, because you cannot, like, attraction is a word used mainly for like love attraction, but you can attract anything.
Well, we're magnets. We're attracting all the time. Our energy is truly a magnet.
Exactly, right? And my point in this is like, look, I have attracted many things that I couldn't because I panicked. And when I panicked, my heart sensor went like ballistic, like on steroids, right? And in that moment, it was that panic that basically attracted it, right? And the moment it started attracting, it's like, right? And I remember the thought that I have of the experience was exactly what happened to the detail. I swear, the same place, the same colors, the same person, the same clothes of the colors of the clothes, the same ground, the same thing, everything around it. The hairstyle of the actual person, the same. It's like I was having a deja vu, but it wasn't a deja vu. It was actually a thought that I had, right? It was a thought that I consciously had. Because usually deja vus, you have that, but you're not even aware that you had them, right? Unless you are like aware to like a point of like, you know, like you're not operating at like 10% of your brain. You have to be operating at like 15 or 20, because to be aware that you have a deja vu, even to remember your dreams and everything, you have to be aware and spiritually, like, you know, like so much more advanced, like in ways that like 99% of people are just not, right? And Tobi can tell you that, Irina can tell you that.
That's why I'm staying quiet, because I'm like, yeah, I know about that. I'm a little advanced myself.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And like, we have to be very careful with the things we attract, right? But that's the thing, that all comes with experience. You're not going to 100% attract the things you love always, because it's not like you become conscious of something and now the law of attraction starts working for you. No, the law of attraction always works for you from the moment you're born to the moment you die, unconsciously or consciously. There's nothing you can do about it, because we live in a solar system. Solar system is a soul system, right? So you descend, right, from oneness, right? You descend from 4D to 3D, because 3D is the only dimension where you can actually access God, right?
Well, hold on. What did you just say?
Right? Am I wrong?
No. What did you say? Clarify that for me, because you shocked my soul with that. It was like so I got to. What did you say?
You can only access God in the third dimension.
No, third is our dimension. That's our physical reality.
We're not even in the third dimension anymore. We're in the fourth.
Already?
Yes. And we're ascending into the fifth.
Oh. I thought we were in third dimension.
Not anymore, we're not. This is the whole ascension process on the planet, is to get us out of the hell of the density of the 3D.
Wait, like Age of Aquarius?
Yeah, we're already in Age of Aquarius. And with the new moon coming out on Friday, it is a whole different shift on the planet. Watch the tsunami, and that's why we got to flood this place with love.
Nice. Very interesting. But that's another story anyway, so we're getting into the spiritual stuff. That's another story for another time. We'll find a way to link that.
You can access consciousness of source right through your being.
Yeah. Totally.
But you got to, if you want to attract that from somebody else, then you got to be in that state yourself. Like, I could have never attracted a partner like what I want unless I became who I am today. Literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
All right, guys. So let's wrap it up. What are the takeouts for today? Aha moments for people to share with the audience.
Well, it wasn't an aha moment for me to feel the love from you guys. I love you guys, and I'm thankful for being here with you. Big time.
Love you too.
Big time. You guys are always fun to be with. Always. And forever will be fun to be with. I love you guys. Takeaways today, guys, you know what? Anything that you are attracting, it is because you are pumping it out. You are a magnet. You're a magnet. And you are producing every thought that you're thinking. So especially when it comes to attracting a partner or the science of attraction, you better clean out your workshop before you start crafting. because you will produce everything that you believe that's stuck in there. Because believe is to be alive within your life. So everything that you believe you want in a partner, you better be careful about what you're wishing for, because the universe will deliver exactly that. I love you all, though.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and it's like, something that always, like on my on my mind all the time. We have this conversation. It's law of attraction is always working, whether you like it or not. You attract that reality with your vibration. So basically, we are all energy, we are all vibrating at frequency. So whatever frequency we vibrate, that's exactly the frequency we attract. Whether this is your partner, or your job, your finances, your health, and etc., etc., etc. Bruno, any last words?
Yeah, I mean, respect people's times, and like have standards, because that's also attractive, right? Have boundaries, because that's also attractive, and don't be attracted by people who don't have them, right? Because, right, I mean, don't fall, like a lot of people end up falling in love with the idea that they have of what they can be, right, than what they really are. And you're not going to change them if they don't want to be changed. That's not going to happen, right? So like be realistic about what you want, right? And if reality sucks, right, then change yourself first, because if reality sucks, that means that your reality sucks and you attracted the same type of reality, right? Like the perfect match myth is bullshit. It's a myth. Oh, I attracted my perfect match. No, you're a perfect match to what you are, whether if you're poor or rich, tall or skinny. You're a perfect match for what you are, because of the vibrational energy that you're sending out to people, right? Like energies meet where they are accepted, right? Because if a bad energy knows that they cannot get nothing out of a good energy, they won't even think about talking with you, looking at you, thinking about you, feeling about you. They won't. They'll ignore you, right? But if they can, then they will. But if they can, that means that you're giving them a chance, right? So like, right, have your boundaries, respect your boundaries, respect people's times, so you can also attract people who are respectful of your own time as well, right? Yes. That's
all right. Thanks everybody again for participating in this episode. And I know we shared a lot of interesting facts and a lot of manifestation, clarity and knowledge. So Tobi, thank you so much again for joining us. It was a pleasure. It was lots of fun. And obviously, looking forward to see you on our future episodes. And for the audience, please enjoy and reach out. I posted all the links. And let's comment. Let's get more involved. And because life shouldn't be lonely. We are all in it. We are all in it together. So we are here to help and be for each other. So join our tribe. And let's have fun together. Thank you so much and have a great time. Until next week.
Bye. See you next week.
Love you all.